The Kamakhya temple is one of the most revered and ancient Hindu temples located in the state of Assam, India, on the Nilachal hill in Guwahati. It is dedicated to Devi Kamakhya, a form of the goddess Shakti representing the creative and reproductive power of the divine feminine. This temple is part of the Shakti Peeths, the sacred places where parts of goddess Shakti's body have fallen, making it one of the most important pilgrimage sites for Hindus, especially followers of the Shakta tradition. Devi Kamakhya is associated with the story of Devi Sati, the first wife of Lord Shiva. Apparently, Devi Sati's father, Prajapati Daksh, did not approve the marriage between his daughter and Lord Shiva, as he never liked him and neither considered him as god. During a grand puja, Daksha did not invite Sati and Shiva, which angered Sati. Despite her father's exclusion, Devi Sati decided to attend the puja, but upon her arrival, she was insulted and humiliated by her father. Now, there is another story connected with it. Basically, once Prajapati prayed to goddess Mahamaya so that she born as his daughter. Being pleased with his prayer, goddess Mahamaya granted his wish, but with a condition, and that was if she ever been disrespect in his house, then she will leave his house forever. And that's what happened. In the puja, she was disrespected and unable to bear the insult, she self-immolated sacrificial fire. Devastated by her death, Lord Shiva began to wander in grief, carrying Devi Sati's body across the universe. Eventually, the Tandav by Lord Shiva created a havoc in the universe. To calm him down, Lord Vishnu used his Sudarshan Chakra to dismember Sati's body into pieces. The places where these body parts fell are known as Shakti Peeths. The Kamakhya temple marks the spot where Devi Sati's yoni, female reproductive organ, have fallen. As a result, the temple is particularly significant as a place of yoni worship, symbolizing fertility and the feminine power of creation. The Kamakhya temple's history dates back over a millennium. It was originally a small shrine that gained prominence over time due to its association with the Shakti Peeth. The temple has been a site of worship since at least the 8th century, although some scholars believe the structure might date back even earlier, possibly to the Pal dynasty. The temple's importance increased significantly under the reign of the Ahom dynasty, when it became an integral part of Assam's culture and religion. By the 10th century, the Kamakhya temple was well established and its association with tantric rituals and Shakti worship became prominent. This period saw the rise of the tantric tradition in India, and Kamakhya temple became a major center for tantric practices, particularly related to the worship of the yoni. During this time, the temple have a unique spiritual significance, attracting scholars, spiritual leaders, and devotees from across India and beyond. The temple itself went through several renovations, with the most notable being the efforts during the rules of Rudra Singha in the 17th century, when the temple's architecture and grandeur were significantly enhanced. The Ahom kings were key patrons of the Kamakhya temple, ensuring that it continued to thrive. Rudra Singha was one of the most powerful and revered rulers of the Ahom dynasty in Assam. Reigning from 1696 to 1740, known for his patronage of the arts, architecture and religion, he played an important role in the development of the Kamakhya temple and many other religious sites in Assam. During his reign, Rudra Singha decided to make the Kamakhya temple more grand and imposing by refurbishing it. He took up the task of repairing and expanding the temple, making it one of the finest structures in Assam. However, the legend of the curse emerged from the interaction between the king and the temple's spiritual guardians. The most known reason of the curse of Rudra Singha and Kamakhya temple is related to an incident that occurred when the king, while overseeing the temple's renovations, ordered the installation of a large idol of Devi Kamakhya. Rudra Singha, in his zeal to make the temple a grand spectacle, engaged in a ritual sacrifice to please the goddess and make the temple even more powerful. However, the method employed were seen as inappropriate and not in accordance with the spiritual practices established by the temple. Conflict arose when the king, perhaps in his arrogance to complete the temple's construction, disrespected the sanctity of the temple by attempting to bypass traditional rituals. He ignored the guidance of the temple priest who had deep spiritual and historic knowledge of Kamakhya's worship and the tantric practices followed in the temple. This led to an angry reaction from the goddess Kamakhya. The curse, as the legend goes, was placed on Rudrasingha and the temple, resulting in the following consequences. After Rudrasingha's interference, there was reports of calamities, particularly during the Ambuvachi Mela, the sacred festival of the goddess. It is said that there were sudden natural disasters and unprecedented events which caused great fear among the local populace. There is even mention that the Ahom dynasty began to experience a decline in power after this incident. While Rudrasingha himself ruled with strength and dignity for most of his life, his successors faced increasing instability both politically and militarily. Some even attribute the weakening of the Ahom kingdom to the act of defense against the goddess. The curse was believed to have led to psychological and spiritual disturbance among the people and rulers of the Ahom dynasty. There was a strong belief in Assam that interfering with the temple's sacred practices could bring down divine wrath, and this fear was passed down through generations. The curse of Rudrasingha and the Kamakhya temple can be interpreted in several ways. Kamakhya temple is deeply associated with the Tantric and Shakta traditions, where worship of the goddess is governed by strict rules and customs. These rituals and practices are divinely ordained and are not to be tampered with by anyone, not even the king. Rudrasingha's interference in these sacred matters was seen as a violation of divine law, which led to the curse. Rudrasingha's act of overreaching, thinking he could impose his will on the temple's ancient and powerful traditions, was seen as an act of hubris. In Hindu religion, kings and rulers were often seen as representatives of divine will on earth. However, to challenge the spiritual power of the goddess Kamakhya was believed to be a form of pride that would invoke divine punishment. Kamakhya temple is considered one of the holiest places of worship for Shakti and represents the feminine creative force. The rituals and practices followed there are sacred, especially in their connection to the cycle of fertility and the cosmic balance of nature. Any attempt to alter or interfere with these practices were believed to disrupt the spiritual harmony, invoking the wrath of the goddess. The curse can also be seen as a protective measure from the goddess Kamakhya, meant to preserve the sanctity and purity of the temple and its rituals. The goddess herself is often depicted as a guardian of the esoteric and mystical traditions of tantric worship. She would not tolerate any form of compromise or disrespect for her sacred space. As we said before, after the supposed curse was placed on the Kamakhya temple and Rudrasingha, the Ahom dynasty did experience some decline. The later rulers of the Ahom dynasty did face increasing pressure from outside forces, internal conflicts, and even military defeats, which led to the eventual downfall of the dynasty in the 19th century. However, Rudrasingha's devotion to the temple and his deep belief in the power of Devi Kamakhya remain, and there are some documents which suggest that he later attempted to make amends for his actions by performing several atonement rituals. The Kamakhya temple itself continued to thrive as a significant religious center and a symbol of divine feminine power. People continuing to visit for blessings of fertility, wisdom, and spiritual liberation. The Kamakhya temple is built in the Nagara style of architecture with a distinctive beehive-shaped dome known as Shikara. Here are some of its key architectural features. The sanctum houses a stone slab with a natural indentation in the shape of the yoni. This yoni is considered to represent the goddess Kamakhya, and worshippers offer their prayer to it as a symbol of fertility and divine feminine power. The temple complex includes several smaller temples dedicated to other deities such as Bhairav, Mahalakshmi, and Bhagavati. Kamakhya temple is also known for the Nitya Kalyan, a sacred spring located within the temple complex. The spring is believed to have healing powers, and it is a major feature of the temple's rituals. One of the most distinct features of Kamakhya temple is the fact that it does not have a traditional idol of the goddess. Instead, worship is focused on the yoni stone, which signifies the feminine divine energy. Kamakhya temple is dedicated to Kamakhya Devi, a form of Shakti. Shakti in Hinduism represents divine feminine energy responsible for creation, fertility, and power. The goddess Kamakhya is often depicted as a manifestation of Mahalakshmi, Mahalani, and Bhairavi, combining various aspects of feminine power and divine grace. Kamakhya temple is a significant center for tantric rituals and esoteric practices. Tantrism, a mystical and ritualistic tradition within Hinduism, is especially prevalent at this temple, which attracts practitioners of tantric arts, meditation, and mantra sadhana. The temple is seen as a source of immense spiritual energy, and many tantric rites are performed here, especially during specific festivals. The temple is especially significant during the Ambubachi Mela, a festival held annually in June to mark the menstruation period of the goddess. During this period, the goddess Kamakhya is said to undergo her annual menstrual cycle, which symbolizes fertility and the cosmic renewal of life. The temple is closed for 3 days during this period, and the deity is believed to be in a state of menstruation. Devotees from all over India and abroad gather to participate in the festival, which is one of the most important religious events in Assam. Yoni in Hindu philosophy is a symbol of feminine power, fertility, and the creative force of the universe. Devotees believe that praying to Kamakhya brings blessings of fertility, both literally for those wishing for children and metaphorically in the form of creative energy and growth in life. Women who visit Kamakhya often seek blessings for fertility and conception. And it is not just a saying, as many people, especially women, have shared their experiences in the temple, saying they felt a strong force of presence in the temple, which tells a lot about how powerful the temple is. I think everyone should visit the temple once to feel the divinity of the temple. Also, not to forget that it is easy to say but tough to feel, as everyone aren't privileged to feel the presence of God, as it takes pure heart and soul to feel the God. Kamakhya temple continues to be a major pilgrimage site and cultural landmark, attracting millions of devotees and tourists annually. The temple is an important center of Shakti worship, and it plays a significant role in the religious landscape of Assam and Northeast India. Over the centuries, the temple has undergone various renovations, and the modern temple structure is built using ancient architectural principles, but with some newer additions for preservation and better accessibility for pilgrims. The temple's spiritual significance and the festival of Ambubachi Mela draw large numbers of pilgrims and tourists from across India and abroad. The temple's natural beauty, combined with its sacred aura, makes it a unique destination for those seeking spiritual solace and a deep connection to the divine feminine. Kamakhya temple is not just a religious site but also a symbol of Assamese culture, and it continues to be a focal point for celebrations of local customs, art, and traditions. The temple complex hosts various other festivals and rituals, drawing visitors to experience the rich cultural heritage of Assam. The Kamakhya temple is much more than a religious site. It is a living symbol of Shakti, feminine power, and fertility. Its deep-rooted history in Hindu religion, its role as a center of tantric worship, and its connection to esoteric practices makes it one of the most unique and mysterious temples in India. The blend of ancient rituals and architectural grandeur makes the Kamakhya a timeless site, continuously attracting devotees, scholars, and mystics from all over the world. Also, the story of Rudrasingha and the curse associated with the Kamakhya temple highlights the deep respect for tradition and spirituality in the region. It also serves as a reminder of the belief that the divine cannot be easily controlled or manipulated, no matter how powerful a ruler may be. The incident speaks to the enduring power of ritual, respect, and the importance of preserving sacred practices. So here comes the end of the video. Do let us know your opinion on the video. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.